Hi everyone. So I wanted to give you all an update of my craft space. I think the last video I did was a while ago, back when I lived in an apartment. So I had just a small room as my crafting area. This is my new craft space. I moved into a house and it had a double garage, and I've converted that into my craft studio. The prior owner, or one of the prior owners, had a man cave in here, so he already had like countertops, he already had electricity run, the walls were already finished, which made it easy to convert into a craft space. This right here is actually the doorway into the house. I did have to take the doors off. On the other side is my laundry room. Bought a new washer and just happens to be too big. The door would hit it every time you went to open the door, so I took the door off. And my solution to still make this into a separation between the house and my craft room was to put up a curtain. So that's what I've done. I've done it in purple. My room is organized in a lot of pink and purple because those are my favorite colors. So I'm going to start right here. This is actually a shoe organizer from the 99-cent store. At the top I have stuff for cup making. So to put the different cups on because it's interchangeable. This is stuff for rhinestone transfers, and then these are like Chanel stems and things for wreath making. And then over here is a craft armoire. It's the Ginger Adams craft armoire. I've had it for a while. I just have some tags from some jewelry netting swaps that I have displayed here. And then it does open up. I still haven't refilled it since I moved over here. But there is some scrapbook paper, like glitter scrapbook paper, wood paper. I have a couple wood stamps in there. I do have like my gesso, some brads, and then a lot of mixed media paint down there. And then down here is just a box of cards that I've made. And then as I move over here, these are two scrapbook racks that I got from a local scrapbook store. On the left side, that is all basil paper. On the right is all graphic 45. And then this is a Billy bookcase from IKEA. I do have some baskets. Like I said, it's not completely finished. I have to go through some of that stuff, find homes for it, or purge it if I don't want it anymore. I do have some 8.5 by 11 paper on the top. I also have some cereal boxes. They are what I use when I'm trying to figure out designs for like banners and things like that. I would rather cut up a cereal box than to cut up my good chipboard, so I'll use that as practice. And then I do have some Cricut cartridges right down here on the bottom. I don't use them that often anymore because I still have my expression, and then if I do use the Design Studio software, which is an old program, I have to actually put the cartridge in. Over here I have some, these are craft mats, and then I have some scrapbook papers. It's a mix, it's a hodgepodge of stuff right now, which is part of what I still have to go through. Like here is some vellum, here's some papers from a card kit that I just did. So I kind of got to go through and finish organizing that. And then up top here, that is Basil Card Shop cardstock. I really liked the Basil Card Shop. It seems that it's changed a little once it was taken over by another company. So this is actually stuff that I had from before. It's a little thicker, and I use it to make my card bases if I need a colored card base. And then up top there, I have my Big Shot Plus, as well as my Big Shot. Yes, that is sweets that I have hidden from my kids into my craft room, and they're not tall enough to be able to reach that. So I do have those hidden there. Right here I do have more storage. This is envelopes. So I have A2 size and 5x7 size. Here is some foiling for like my mink. And then here is like cutting plates for my Cuttlebug. Down here I do have mini Archival Inks, and those are right here. I don't really use these as much because I use these when I travel, and since we're not traveling and everyone's at home, we're under another stay-at-home order here, so I haven't used those as much as I would if I was traveling or going and crafting at friends' houses. These are my corner chompers, and then in the back I do have my crocodile, and then Next over here, this is my light box where I do photograph for cards, blogs, things like that. And then I have, these are bags for card kits whenever I do teach. Shaker supplies, so I've got some chunky glitter, some sequins, things like that. Paper doilies, paper bags from when I used to do paper bag minis. Down here I do have some planner stuff. I used to subscribe to Coco Daisy. I did for a couple years, and so those are some of the old inserts and things like that that I can actually reuse as I go on planning. However, with COVID going on, I don't leave as much, that I have such a busy schedule because everything is kind of slowed down, so I can just use a small pocket planner to keep track of like things that I need to do. Over here, this is my big Calyx unit. I do have a 5x5 unit. I did opt for a couple drawers and one door on it. And then up top here I have things like these are some jewelry nutting projects that I've done. In here is the Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous stamps. They really fit well in these, I guess they're like a photo type of thing. They're from Hobby Lobby, they're from the Paper Studio. And then these are all of my planners that I have up here. Down here is scrapbook papers. A lot of them are stored into these holders. They're from Hobby Lobby. They did call it the Paper Studio, so whenever they had their blowout sale, you could get it at 50% off. They have since unbranded it so that it's not labeled the Paper Studio anymore, and so then the 50% doesn't apply. But I do have these kind of labeled by theme. So like this is all Christmas. I have to put the labels on it, and that's what I'm missing for the organization part of this. As I move down here, these are my 6x6 paper pads. I can just pull them out, grab whichever ones I need for whatever project I'm doing. And then here are some 8.5x11 colored cardstock. It is organized in color order, so I can grab it as I need it. I don't use a lot of 8.5x11. It's just not something that I reach for that often, especially like regular cardstock. So I don't have like an abundance of that. What I do use the most is right down here at the bottom. This right here is 110-pound cardstock. It's really thick, and I use it for my card bases. So I have the general cream, black, and white, and I do have the Nina Desert Storm. And then right here I just have like some magazines and a little bit of extra cardstock in white and cream. As I move over, I start to go towards my die storage. All of this right here in front of me, this is all the Karen Burniston line. I do have all of her dies that she has, and so those are what I use if I have to. If I'm doing a project, I can actually just pick this up, take it over to my desk and work on it, and then put the stuff back. Most of my dies are organized by company, especially ones that I use the most. This is when Karen was a licensed designer for Elizabeth Crafts, so this is her stuff there. Riley and Company, and then which is like the sister company of this company here, and then Pink and Main. And then I do have a lot of the Sizzix Bigs dies. Down here is my jewelry nutting. I'm actually like bulging through, so I'm running out of room for that, so I've had to move some of it down here. And then behind that is my Dynamics, and then I also have Spellbinders, some La La Land Crafts. A lot of Heartfelt Creations is right there. I do make a lot of flowers. That is Elizabeth Crafts. And then from here, these are just miscellaneous, and it's sorted by theme. So I've got Christmas, Halloween, birthdays, mail cards, alphas. So that makes it kind of easier if I'm just looking for like, hey, I just need a Christmas stamp or something like that, unless I'm looking for a specific company. Like if I'm doing a design team project or something like that. Up top here, I do have some drawers. Here I have, these are my Inktense pencils and my Prismacolor pencils. This is also the 110-pound cardstock. These are extra reams of it. It was the Recollections heavyweight cardstock. At one point they did change it. It's now a thinner thickness than it was before. I still liked this, so when I knew that they were changing it over, I actually bought extra so that I did not run out. And then Right here I do have like some twine and some mini craft irons, and then some stuff here for like mixed media projects and things of that nature. Down at the bottom here I do have my Nuvo drops and my Bow-It-All. And then right over here is my wreath making supplies. I make wreaths for myself. I don't make them to sell. So I make them for here, like or at work or something like that. And then I just reuse them every year. And then over here, this is a Raskog from IKEA. On the top, I do have my embossing folders so that if I need one, I can actually see them. They're out. I have not finished organizing these. A long time ago when I first started, these were all the embossing folders that I had, are these ones right here. But I did take a folder and I kind of cut it up, and then I ran it through my embossing machine and I inked it so I can actually see what it looks like, as opposed to just trying to see it through the embossing folder form. So I still have all of these to do, like these, but that's part of what I still have left to do in my organization process. And then over here is a pegboard that I created. I just had them cut it down at Lowe's, and then I did the trim, and I mitered it and then attached it to the pegboard that I had painted. And then it just holds like some of my Cricut stuff, like my weeding tools and things like that, as well as my rulers that I use for when I'm sewing. Which leads me over to here. This is my sewing station. So I did set things up in my craft room by station. I figured out that that works best for me. I can't just use one desk for that. It gets all cluttered. So I prefer to have it separate. So right here I do have my sewing machine. This would have like my thread, everything that I need for when I'm sewing. And then behind me over here is my Cricut Easy Press. My Cricut, this was my Maker, that is my Air Explorer 2, and that's my Expression. And then this Raskog is mostly dedicated to like sewing. There's yarn, needles, my sewing scissors, which, you know, we don't use our sewing scissors to cut paper. And then here's my Cricut mats. This storage here, I still have to put the labels on, but it has other things. So like this is more stencil material for making rhinestone templates. Here is transfer tape for my Cricut, which leads me to this unit here, which contains vinyl. So there's lots of vinyl. Up here I have Caesar HTV, and then I have the Caesar Glitter HTV, and then on down to some Oracle 651, and then Oracle 631, which is the non-permanent vinyl. Up top I do have some of my distress crayons, my distress markers, that way I can see them and use them, because if I don't see them I will not use it. And then as I move over here, this is like my pressing station. If I'm making t-shirts or putting vinyl on cups or anything like that, this is where I do it at. Up here is my, I think it's 9x9 Cricut Easy Press, and then I also have my mini press here. This top drawer here has like stuff for epoxy, some of my gloves. This is what I use to mix my epoxy, as well as some silicone molds. And then right down here is a trash can. As I move over here, you can see I have like a mini fridge. That's where I keep drinks that I'm hiding from my kids, because they don't know that it's out here. There's some envelopes there, some storage bags for when I'm doing card kits. And then all of this stuff right here is glitters for when I'm making my cups. My cup turner is here. This room, like I said, it is a garage. So I did take and I put they have garage door insulation that is made just for garage doors. And then like this heat dish here helps heat the room. If I'm doing a cup, epoxy likes it to be warmer. It doesn't like it to be so cold. So then I can just flip the heat dish over towards this area and it keeps it warmer, so when the cup's turning, the epoxy can harden. And then right here is my Archival Inks and my Memento inks. These are the Archival inks that I use the most. Like I said, I've got the minis for when I travel, but with COVID, and we're now in a second stay-at-home order. This is where I'm always at when I'm crafting. This is a project that I was working on, and then this is my air conditioner. I know I've got some beach stuff back there, but this is my air conditioning unit that I use in here. There's actually a vent behind it, an air vent, so it can actually bring in the air from the outside and cool it, which is what you need when you have some type of an air conditioning system, since there's no windows in here. I have my Bluray player, and then I also have my buttons. Those are my gelatos. And then when I epoxy, I showed you some silicone molds. Any leftover epoxy I use to make like jewels and things like that that I can put on projects, or I give them away to friends. Right here I have some larger stencils that I use. And then these up here are my cases for my stamping platform tools. And then right here is an organizer. Now, it used to be one whole organizer. I got it from Amazon. It's not a shoe organizer. They're smaller pouches, but I was putting it on this cabinet. I still use this cabinet because it actually has like stuff in it, like paint and stuff. So I split it down the middle and just did a quick stitch down it so that it's nice and sealed. And now it holds my punches. These are the punches that I use the most. So like my circle punches, I have the label punch from Stampin' Up, and then some of my Martha Stewart. I love the leaf punches, and then my drippy goo punch, love it for Halloween. I can't be without that punch. It's one of my favorite punches. Over here, this is my Craftsman toolbox. I outgrew a regular toolbox because I do make some furniture. I'm a definite DIYer, so like when I made my vanity, or I make, you know, bookcases or desks or anything like that. So I have this. I bought it with the black background and the red handles because I plan on changing the handles to either pink or purple. Every girl should have her own set of tools. So here's like all my hammers. Here's all my pliers. What I liked about this, besides the soft close, is that it actually has in it electricity. So it can actually charge my drill and things like that as well. Right here I have a room divider. Behind there is like stuff that's not craft related, and I kind of don't want to see it, so I actually put this room divider up here. It has behind there like air mattresses and things like that, beach like beach towels and all that type of stuff that we use when we go to the beach here. Over here I do have some more storage. This is all my fabric for when I sew. I do like to make masks for my family. I don't really sell them that often. And then I store my fabric. One of my friends here has a fabric line, so you know, I have some of her fabric. And then here's a desk that I made for my son. He likes to come out here and craft with me, so I made him a desk as well so that he can, you know, do his drawing and his coloring and things like that, you know, because I want to foster his creativity as well. Next to me here I have more storage. Like here's some stamp storage pockets, Elizabeth Crafts glitter, some sequins, and then I also have right here, these are mini distress inks. Again, I don't use these when I'm home. I use these when I'm traveling, but it's easy to just pick these up, put them in my bag and go. This right here has some paint in it. And then as I move over here, this is an antique antique armoire that my mom gave me. It holds my wreaths that I make for my house, and I can just reach in and switch them out as I need them. So it gives me enough storage as opposed to putting them in a wreath box so they don't get crushed, and then trying to find space for wreath boxes. It's just easier for me to put it in this armoire. Then as I move over here, you can see these are my Copic markers. This is actually a cart from Michael's. It's longer than the normal carts, and I like it because it actually fits my Copic case that I have. I can just pick this Copic case up, seal it, zip it up, and I can go. And I don't have to worry about transferring my markers from one storage unit to another. These I actually got at Target. I did have to add stronger magnets to it, so they are magnetic and they can move. Here is like my Copic refills, my Zig clean color clear brush markers. These are some Faber-Castell Pitt pens. And then I also have my stamp cleaner. Down here underneath I have like baby wipes for my hands, not for my stamps because there are least fibers on the stamps. And then I also have like watercolor paints, watercolor pencils, like that's my Gonze Tombi. I have my silver paintbrushes, and then I have those are Spectrum Noir aqua pencils, and then some Prima watercolor pencils as well. Right here, this unit is my scrap paper unit. So I do not like cutting up a piece of paper just for a little scrap. So I do have it, this I could only find in the clear, so I did it in clear and I put labels on here. So here's black and gray, so anything that is black, gray, silver, anything like that, that goes in here. This right here is my chipboard. Here I have like browns and creams, and then this is all white, and then the rest was a rainbow storage unit by the same company, and it works well because if I need just like an orange piece of paper, I can just grab orange and find the right kind of orange if I can without having to cut down my papers. Up top here is an ink pad storage that I had created after Tim Holtz came out with his last release, not the newest release of oxide inks, but the last set of inks that he had come out with. I made it so that on one side is the distress ink, on the other side is the oxide ink, and then I could fit the re-inkers. I left these extra spaces open just in case he ever decided to make new colors, which he has now. So now these hold my new colors like the Rustic Wilderness, and the Speckled Egg, and the Crackling Campfire. So I do have some room for the expansion as well. But I do like it. It, you know, keeps them all in order, and then I can spin it around. This right here is my distressed ink swatch. It's up to date with the colors. However, the chart itself is not up to date. So I'm just waiting until all the colors have been released, and then I'll print off a new one because there's like 70 some colors or more. So I just wanted to wait on that part of it. And then as I pan over here, this is my craft desk. I did make all three of these tabletops. So this desk, my sewing desk, and my son's desk, they're all stained and varnished with the same colors. And then I do have the IKEA Alex drawers here. As you can see up top, I have like the scissors that I use the most. Here's my heat tool. Here's my ATG. This was a thing from Melissa Francis. I actually use this when I'm using my stamp platform so that I can like really get a good impression. And then these are the glues that I use the most. I do fill it up with this fine tip bottle from Karen Burniston. I like it because it actually has like a built-in pin inside of it so that it does not clog. And then when I'm done with it, I can put the pin back in. But while I'm using it, I take this container, there's a paper towel in there, I spray it with water, and I can just store it like that as I'm using it throughout whatever project I'm doing, and it doesn't clog back up. These are the tools that I use the most. Like my scissors, these are from Elizabeth Crafts. I love them. They're nice detail scissors to get into like small spaces with. Projects that I'm working on, my glass mat. Here's where I keep my absorber. This is what I actually spray with water and I use to clean my stamps with. These, this is my glue gun and my Gorilla Glue sticks. Back here, this is actually a cup or pot lid holder, I guess you would call it, and I got it from like either Tuesday Morning or TJ Maxx, but it works really well for my paper trimmers, so I can just store my paper trimmers there, reach over and be able to grab whatever I need. It also has my scoreboard. Right here are my remotes, because you know you gotta have a TV in your craft room. And then this was actually, it's a container that is from a hardware store or automotive store, and it's magnetic, so as I'm doing stuff with my dies I can actually put it there until I'm completely done with it, and then I'll put it away once I'm done with my project. Over here I have some pens and markers. So like some of my paint pens are here. My Faber-Castell pens that I use, the Pitt pens, they come like small, fine, brush, things like that I use when I'm crafting. These drawers here hold things that I use a lot. So washi tape. These are my replacement blades. Here are my erasers, especially like, you know, my sand eraser in case I have any like ink boo-boos. This I just got from Amazon. The storage was sold separately, but I like it because it displays them all. A round one doesn't work for me because I don't have enough desk space. So actually having it in a long rectangular storage helps me be able to have them up there. I haven't got to start using them because I just got them, but it does, you know, I've had like round things on my desk before and it didn't work for me. And then right here, these are the two black inks that I use the most. The MFT, my favorite things, black licorice ink. I use that for my Copic coloring, and then my Onyx Black VersaFine ink. Down here, these are the We Are Memory Keepers punch board storage, and I do have my punch boards in it, but it also works well for my stamp platforms. Like I said, we're not traveling, we're not going anywhere, so keeping them right here by me, I can reach over and grab them. And then underneath here is more punch boards and my cinch. Now this set of drawers of both sides, this is the one that I probably use the most. The top here has all of my stamping blocks. This one has my embossing powders. This one, when I'm crafting, usually this one stays open the most because this has all of my adhesives that I use. Yeah, as you can see, like my foam squares and all that type of stuff. This is what I use on a regular basis when I need like foam tape and stuff like that. And I don't want to keep it out on my desk and clutter up my desk. This is my bling drawer, so I keep all of my bling in here, as well as my prills for when I make flowers. And then on the bottom drawer are my paper flowers that are already pre-made, as well as my soft mats for whenever I'm making flowers. And then right here is my cutting station. On the top is my Vagabond. Next is my Embosser. Unfortunately, my Embosser has stopped working. And I don't, you know, they don't make it anymore, so there's nothing I can really do about it. Thank goodness I have my Vagabond. I do like this set of drawer, this rolling cart from Michaels, because it does have a top that you can buy separately, but underneath I'm able to store like my grand dies and things like that, as well as extra cutting pads, things that I don't use all the time, like my long extended cutting pads and my long extended cutting platform. So as we walk around here, there's just a little bit of stuff over here. This is what I use for photography. Like I've got cameras, cords, all that type of stuff in here. These are Deflecto storage. So some of it is planner supplies. Some of it is ribbon that I couldn't fit in my drawer because it was too tall. And then over here, this is where I have, these are the adhesive refills for the glues that I have in my other drawer. So as I need a refill, I usually at least have one so that you never run out, because nothing's worse than working on a project and then running out of glue. The glue that I refill in my fine tip bottles is this Lineco pH neutral adhesive. It's one of my favorites. I've had this bottle for a while. I want to say like 3 years. There's still glue in it. And then down here is like my ribbon. It's organized by theme. So Christmas, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, Easter, spring, and then it leads into like summer colors. So this is an overview of my craft room. I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Thanks again for stopping by. Have a great day.